These 8 advanced English words will lift your fluency and your IELTS, TOEFL, or Cambridge score, and you won't just memorize them. You'll meet each one inside the story, feel what it means, then prove you caught it. That's how your brain keeps them for good. The rain had not stopped in 3 days when she walked into my office and brought, I would soon learn, a lie dressed in diamonds. Her husband was missing, she said, along with a fortune in jewels. She wanted me to find him. She did not know that finding him would tear her whole world apart. I am Nick Vance, and I find things people lose. Dogs, debts, husbands, the truth. My office sits above a shady little bar on the wrong side of the city, where the neon buzzes and nobody asks questions. I had worked that shady street long enough to smell a lie before it sat down. And Mrs. Lake, lovely as she was, smelled faintly of one. Her story was simple. Her husband, Victor, had gone out 2 nights before and never come home. The next morning, their wall safe stood open and empty, the window smashed, the diamonds gone. The police called it a robbery gone wrong. But something about the tale struck me as dubious from the first. It was too neat, too tidy. The most dubious crimes are always the tidy ones. I drove up to the house, a cold marble place on the hill, far too big for 2 people. I have made a living by being perceptive about small things, the details that other men walk straight past. And the first small thing I noticed, standing in that ransacked study, stopped me cold. A perceptive eye, my old captain used to say, is worth 100 guns. Mine was about to earn its keep. The window had been smashed, yes, but the broken glass lay outside, on the garden path, not inside on the carpet. A window broken by a thief climbing and sprays its glass inward, across the floor. This glass had been broken from inside the room and pushed out. It was a tiny discrepancy, the kind a tired policeman misses at midnight. But that single discrepancy turned the whole case upside down. From there, I began to deduce the rest. No thief had broken in. Someone inside the house had broken that window outward to make a robbery look real. I checked the safe, not forced, but opened, by someone who knew the code. Slowly, coldly, I deduced a truth that Mrs. Lake clearly had not. There had been no robber in that house at all. So where was Victor Lake? I spent 2 days chasing a man who had become elusive as smoke. He had quietly emptied a private bank account that no one knew he kept. He had bought a train ticket under a false name. The more I dug, the more elusive he became. A man I began to see who did not want to be found, because he was the one who had vanished on purpose. In a cheap hotel across the river, I finally uncovered the rest of it. Victor Lake was drowning in secret debts. He owed money to dangerous men, and he had found the oldest exit there is, to disappear, take the diamonds, and let the whole world believe he was the victim of a crime. I uncovered a second passport, a packed bag, and a steamer ticket for a port 1,000 miles south. He had feigned his own robbery. He had smashed his own window from the inside, emptied his own safe, and walked out of his own life, leaving his wife to weep over a husband who was not dead, not taken, but simply gone, with her jewels in his pocket. The grief Mrs. Lake felt was real. The crime she mourned had been feigned from the very start. I drove back to that cold house on the hill to tell her. She had hired me believing her husband a victim. Instead, I had to hand her the truth that he had robbed and abandoned her both. She listened, very still, and did not cry. "He made me look like a suspect," she said at last quietly. "He let the whole city wonder if I had killed him." That had been the cruelest part of his shady little plan, that the woman he left behind would wear his guilt. I gave the police my findings, and Victor Lake's tidy lie came apart at the seams. The hunt turned, as it always should have, toward the man who had fled, and away from the wife the city had been so quick to blame. The diamonds were never found. Neither, in the end, was Victor. Some men stay elusive to the very last. Mrs. Lake paid me, shook my hand, and walked back out into the rain. A free woman with an empty house. I poured a drink and watched the neon bleed across my window. She had come to me certain her husband had been stolen away from her. The hardest thing I ever had to uncover was that the only thief in the whole story had been the man she loved, and that the lie she walked in wearing had been his, not hers, all along. Now, did you catch all 8? Let's find out. An adjective meaning of doubtful honesty, dishonest, and suspicious. Think of a back alley dealer you instinctively know not to trust. Nick's office sat above a bar of exactly this sort, on the rough side of town. He worked a what kind of street where the neon buzzed and nobody asked questions.
The word is shady.
The deal sounded shady, so she refused to sign anything at all. An adjective meaning doubtful, questionable, and hard to believe. It's how you feel about a deal that sounds far too good to be true. Nick found the widow's tidy story to be exactly this from the start. Her account of the robbery seemed, what, too neat to be real?
The word is dubious.
I am rather dubious about his promise to pay us all back. A verb meaning to reveal or discover something that was hidden. It's what you do when you finally expose a long-buried secret. In a cheap hotel, Nick did this to the whole hidden truth of the case. He worked the streets for days to do what? Reveal where the husband had gone? The word is uncover. Reporters worked for months to uncover the truth behind the scandal. An adjective meaning sharp-eyed and quick to notice or understand things. Think of a reader who senses exactly how you feel before you say a word. Nick was this, spotting the one detail every other man had walked past. It took a what kind of eye to see that the broken glass lay on the wrong side?
The word is perceptive.
A perceptive teacher, she noticed at once that the boy was upset. A verb meaning to work something out by reasoning from the evidence. It's what a great detective does, building the answer clue by clue. From the glass in the open safe, Nick did this to the real story. He could do what from the spilled glass? Reason out that no thief had broken in?
The word is deduce.
From the muddy prints, she could deduce that someone had climbed in. An adjective meaning hard to find, catch, or pin down. It's the quality of a fugitive who is always one step ahead of you. The missing husband proved to be this, slipping away like smoke. Victor grew more, what? Harder to catch. The harder Nick tried to track him down.
The word is elusive.
The thief remained elusive, vanishing before the police ever arrived. A noun for an inconsistency where two facts fail to match up. It's the gap between a story and the evidence that quietly betrays a lie. The glass on the wrong side of the window was the key one Nick found. That single, what? Glass on the lawn, not the floor, broke the whole case.
The word is discrepancy.
The auditor found a small discrepancy between the receipts and the accounts. A verb meaning to pretend, faking a feeling you do not really have. It's what you do when you fake a cough to get out of a meeting. Victor did this to a whole robbery, staging a crime against himself. He had to do what fake? A break-in, smashing his own window from the inside?
The word is feign.
She tried to feign surprise, though she had known all along. Quick recap. How many do you still remember?
Shady. Dubious.
Uncover.
Perceptive. Deduce. Elusive. Discrepancy. Feign.
A new English story every day. Subscribe and learn advanced words the way your brain actually keeps them. Inside a story you won't forget.